What are some actual real cultural, personality differences between Gens and millennials? I gotta say, from casual observation, the driver's license thing is spot on. In the words of the odd ones out, Gen Z grew up with the internet, but millennials grew up with the internet. As a millennial, I feel like we had issues around weight pushed on us growing up. You couldn't find a tabloid not talking about how insert healthy celeb here was fat. Now I think Gen Z has that same pressure about age. Maybe because skincare is a lot more popular and stuff meant to target older generations for aging is seeping into Gen Z's perspective of it. Millennials tend to fight labels, while Gen Z seems to prefer hyper-specific labels. I've never thought about calling a hot dog a glizzy, so there's that. As a younger millennial who is in between generations, I feel like my younger childhood was the old world in which I would talk to my friend on the home phone for hours and the internet was dial-up. Then my teen years came. The Apple Store opened up and people started to get addicted to their smartphones. It was flip phones in middle school to smartphones in high school and university. I saw teachers freaking out not knowing how to deal with the smartphones. I started to compare myself to girls on Facebook who started using filters. I saw bullying go from the playground to online, even though smartphones started in my teen years. The difference is the core Gen Z started getting smartphones in their early childhood. Us millennials grew up in a time before anyone could reach you at any time. If I left my house on my bicycle and my mother wanted to find me, she just stewed until I got home. Also, you could throw someone into a pool without having to worry about ruining expensive electronic devices. In France at least there is the video game acceptance. I grew up in the 90s countryside, and when I was a kid, playing video games was something sending you straight to the not cool nerds category. Like sometimes people whispered, "I'm sure he plays video games," and stuff like that as a really bad gossip. I saw it becoming really more normalized at the end of the secondary. For Gens it always been a very normal distraction. Millennials witnessed the birth of the internet. From dial-up to broadband and having it be this fringe thing that was used for entertainment and information. Gen Z witnessed the domestication of the internet. From being this cool Wild West full of cheap flash games with nothing but entertainment behind them, to being run by a total of like 4 websites with everything focused on ad revenue, and it now being considered an essential tool for business. I'm an older millennial, 40 years old. My daughter and her friends are in high school. They found my old yearbooks and just noted how happy everyone was. They commented how depressed everyone at school was now. I told them the internet was barely a thing. Getting your license and going for drives was the thing to do. We were just more social by actually talking face to face with people. It was pre-9/11 and there was so much hope and optimism for the future. Millennials grew up in the late 20th century. Most of them still remember a pre-9/11 world. They saw the rise of the internet. Gens have always lived in post-9/11 internet world. I'm 36 and I like selfies and taking good photos for social media, but Gen Z has a relationship with documenting their life that makes no sense to me. It's not bad but definitely different. I recommend the book I, Gen by Jean Twenge. She summarizes her research on generational differences. Some research suggests Gen Z engage in less substance abuse and sexual activity overall compared to millennials, at least during adolescence, have higher rates of diagnosed anxiety and depression, and spend more time compared to millennials with their parents. I'm a late millennial, so I can't relate much to pre-9/11's world type difference. But one thing I've noticed is Gen Z dress even more casually than millennials to work, which is a bit of shock to me. My interns came to work in gym shorts. And honestly, power to them, because their millennial bosses doesn't care. But I remember when millennials were criticized so hard for their hoodies and jeans, lol. Millennials are definitely more computer savvy. Because of their age when the 2008 recession and to a lesser extent 9/11 happened. Somebody I think explained it well, put it like this. Millennials had high hopes for the future and had their worldview shattered in key points in their life, young childhood, and right out of college. Gen Z had a shattered worldview and lost the rose-colored glasses of hope before they even graduated high school. I feel like dating was really different. Oh, men were aggressive or entitled or possessive. And going dark, ghosting, was something girls did after a guy they weren't dating starting being offensive, too possessive, or B, a breakup went badly, and the guy was being harassing. Gen Z, I feel like there's a lot more ghosting instead of proper breaking up communication. I feel like Gen Z grew up in an environment that valued them and that cared about their feelings. I think that's why they have an expectation of how they want to be treated. I think millennials were raised by emotionally stunted bummers. At least I was brought up in a do as you're told because I told you to world. I think that's why it's harder for millennials to voice their opinions or stand up for themselves. Ghosting. Boomers would just stay married and hate each other until they die. Millennials would tell someone why they're dumping them. Gen Z just ghosts. I am a millennial that works with a ton of Gen Z people, and I gotta say, y'all call out of work a lot, and I'm insanely jealous. I did not have the balls to do that when I was in my 20s. Heck, I'm still trying to practice mental health days or calling out when I feel sick.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.